he will be treated as such. Many others are every single day. Sadly, the advocate fails badly in this regard. Again, I mean, to be judged by someone like Mileham, Mr. Mileham, is something that I, quite frankly, don't worry much about. But it's the implication that it has on the process. Yeah, I've been judged and tortured by people like him before, and then he then responds again.
Chairperson.
Okay, let me switch off, Chair.
Just a pause, Adv Dali Mpofu. You did not raise your hand, Honorable Mileham.
I apologize, Chair. I'll raise my hand right now. Sorry, I don't know how to do a point of order. Okay. Sorry. Can I go ahead, Chair?
What is the point of order on?
Chairperson, he says he's been tortured by people like me. Chairperson, I'd ask that be withdrawn. It's unparliamentary behavior and it's unparliamentary language. I certainly have never tortured anyone in my life, and I take the gravest exception to Mr. Mpofu making statements like that.
Okay, thank you, Honorable Mileham. You certainly have not been tortured by Honorable Mileham, Adv Mpofu.
I have. The Chair, okay, let me put it.
I would want you to
yes,
so that we are able to, listen to your presentation, to refrain from that.
Yes, no, thank you, Chair. Let me just explain, and then you can make a ruling here. Maybe I can withdraw the remark that I've been tortured by people like Mileham, Mr. Mileham. I've been tortured by him, Mr. Kevin Mileham. No, I'm telling you, I've been, when I say tortured, I mean...
Let's do it step by step.
Yeah, let's do it step by step.
You've just withdrawn that.
Yeah, I've withdrawn the earlier remark.
Yes.
I'm making a new remark now, which says I have been tortured by Mr. Kevin Mileham. Torture doesn't just include the physical torture that I suffered in the hands of the apartheid regime, if that's what he thinks I'm referring to. That I've been tortured about as well. But here, I've been tortured by Mr. Kevin Mileham by insulting me. He has tortured me emotionally by saying that I'm undignified, incompetent, and whatever he has said there. So he has tortured me. He can't define my torture.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay,
thank you, Adv Mpofu.
All right, thank you. But let's move on, Chair.
Now, before you move on, so I want you to step back, Honorable Mileham, because firstly, would have withdrawn the first reference, but is now making a statement about how he feels in the hearings in relation to your interactions with him. I don't want you to respond to that. Now let's proceed.
Thank you, Chair. So the point is that, you know, when the public protector is subjected to this kind of patent and obvious bias, and as I say, and when her representatives are subjected to that, particularly in the public domain, Chairperson, I'm quite sure you'll forgive me. I've called you biased and everything, but I'm quite sure that even you will not approve of a member of the committee behaving in that fashion and in social media. I mean, if I was so minded, I would have addressed Honorable Mileham on Twitter, which I'm very capable of doing. But I decided not to do it because it's just really the lowest form of or the highest form of provocation, which I was not going to fall into, and that is why I'm raising it here, Chair, instead of raising it in that space. Because as a professional, I have a duty. I had a duty to await the correct opportunity for me to deal with the torture that I'm subjected to Honorable Mileham, and that torture is directed at the public protector again, as I say, and that's what's most important.
Yeah, just a pause there.
Yes, Chair.
Because I want to indicate to you where we are and the need for it to wrap up. I would have handed over to you at 17 minutes past 10, and you made your remarks about 5 minutes, and 22 minutes past 10 you indicated to me that's when I must start counting your 2 hours, which I gladly did, and I'm actually counting from 10:30. Not
So
even
we're
20.
now at 2 hours.
So now we are now at full 2 hours that
Yes.
I would have agreed with you that we're giving you.
Thank you,
So
Chair.
I'd want you to wrap up.
Yes. Right. So anyway, we've dealt with that. We've dealt with what I call the inherent bias of Honorable Mileham, which is just there. It's an objective fact. And the second one is the one represented by his gratuitous and unsolicited Twitter attacks on the representatives of the public protector. And I've said, Chair, that there are what we'll call aggravating factors there. Those factors affect other members of the DA, but so I'm not raising them against them as such, except to raise them as to show the aggravation in the case of Honorable Mileham, because we have to take him from whence he comes. And I've said that firstly, his conduct has led us to raise the issue that in any event, he's a member of the DA, and the DA leader, Mr. John Steenhuisen, stated on national television on the 9th of June 2022 that he and other members of the DA were, quote, popping champagne at the news of the unlawful, biased, improper, and malafide suspension of the public protector by President Ramaphosa on that date. And then so that's the first thing. So popping champagne at such illegality should itself be a disqualifying factor. And we say more recently, the DA has committed gross misconduct, and again, Chair, everything I've said against you, but I expect you to censor this kind of behavior very seriously. The DA went on last week to attach statements in this committee to their court papers, which were totally irrelevant. The court matter was about whether the public protector should, in the meantime, assuming that there are confirmation proceedings in the Constitutional Court, be at work or not. And I'm not exaggerating, the DA attached in their papers there, but 400 pages of the statements of Ms. Mokhaladi, statement of Mutsisi, Tejane, and including annexures, 400, 500 pages. On the day of before the hearing, they apologized because we pointed out, what is this now? What is the Section 194 statements got to do with this? Firstly, it was disingenuous and you know, again, trying to create sensationalism. Because if, as we pointed out in court, if indeed they wanted, let's assume it was relevant, they wanted to bring the information from this committee, then what you do is you then bring the statement of Ms. Mokhaladi, for example, and bring the record of her cross-examination. You can't just bring the statement and wish away whatever has happened. So that was the first problem with it. And so the apology in that regard is not accepted.